Thank you. All right. So tonight's call is focusing on the difference between being an influencer and a manager. And I'm going to go on record and say, I think that you need to be both. I think that one is definitely going to be more successful in this business than the other. But I do think that there are aspects of both of them that really create a good quality coach and help you to develop a successful business. So I asked you a couple questions and 23 people responded. So I really quickly wanted to just share with you the stats that I got from that. I responded too. So my responses are in there as well. So the first question was, are you being proof that the products work? 100% of you said yes, which is phenomenal because I mean, if you're not, I don't know what you're doing. I hate to say it that way, but I really don't. Like if you're not showing up and using the products and doing the workouts, then how in the world could you ever influence someone to do them? The second one was, is your status still active? So what I mean when I say that is,
Mommy, have you seen my blankie?
I have not, baby, but Daddy's out there. He'll help you. Sorry. What I mean by that is, do you have your 50 PV and are you showing up red or green on the screen when we look you up? And one person responded no. So one person is not currently active. So this is what I would ask. And again, this is not for me to call anybody out. I didn't collect addresses or anything on this, so I don't know what people responded because I felt like there needed to be a little bit of anonymity to it because I didn't want people to feel pressure. But I will say that I'm probably going to stomp on your toes a little bit, and I'm doing it in the most loving way possible. I'm not doing it to hurt you. I'm doing it to bring about a level of conviction in your hearts. Like if this is something you said you wanted to do, I don't care if you said you wanted to do it a month ago, 6 months ago, or 4 years ago, why aren't you doing it? You know, we are the first person in our lives that we give up on all the time. Like there's things that I would do for my friends and my family, but if it came to doing them for myself, I'd be like, I don't need to do that, which is crap. And it's time for us to stop doing that. And being an influencer, we are going to show people that it's crap. Like, yes, that's something that people do commonly, but we're not going to be that person. We're not going to be those people because we know we can make a difference. So if you currently aren't active in the online office, get there. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You need to be active. Buy yourself some Energize. I don't even know. How do you live without Energize, right? Buy some beach bars. To me, like, there's things that I order off BOD on a monthly basis or on every other monthly basis that I would have bought in a grocery store before. Why aren't you just buying them from your own self and helping your business grow? The next question was, are you currently receiving a monthly subscription product? 91% of the team said, or the 23 said yes, 8% said no. So there's a couple people who aren't getting a monthly subscription. Again, I know finances can get tight, and I'm not saying that you need to break your bank or put it on a credit card. But again, if you're being proof that the products work, how are you doing that without having a monthly subscription product? And I'm not talking about Beachbody On Demand. I'm talking about Shakeology or Daily Sunshine or a Boost to put in whatever you drink, your Energize, your beach bars. There are so many things available on a monthly subscription. This next question, have you completed at least one program from start to finish this year? Everyone give themselves a whoop whoop because 100% people said yes, they've finished at least one program, which is so important, you guys. When Beachbody On Demand first came out, we were all so excited that we were hopping around from one program to the next, and that's wonderful. It's so nice that we have options, but it really speaks volumes when you pick a program and you start it and you finish it, not just speaking volumes about the program, but it shows people that you're a finisher. You're not someone who starts and stops, because so many of us were that guy. We were the guy that started and stopped, and started and quit, and started and stopped. And we're not going to be that guy anymore. That's part of our story now. And so we need to show all the other people out there who are just like that, who start and stop and start and stop, that it doesn't have to be that way. So that's really great. This one, oh, this hurts my heart. Hurts my heart to share this statistic, or this data, I should say. It's not a statistic. 70% of you said that you do not listen to the National Wake Up Call, either live or on a recording. And here's the thing. I'm going to be brutally honest with you right now. If you don't listen to the National Wake Up Call, you don't need to be signing up for a one-on-one call with me. Because the people on that National Wake Up Call are much more qualified, much more experienced, much more knowledgeable than I am. And if you can't do that on your commute to work, or on, like, I listen to it after school while I'm grading papers, because grading papers is pretty mindless. If you can't find time to do that, or really make time, because everyone's got downtime. Sarah actually was telling me this week that she bought a waterproof Bluetooth speaker, and she keeps it in her shower, and she listens to the National Wake Up Call while she's taking a shower. Sarah has a toddler and a newborn, you guys, and she's finding time to watch it or listen to it. You don't have to watch it. I don't watch it. I mean, 70% of you are not doing that. If you're one of the 70%, you need to put it on your calendar. So earlier today, I posted something that I stole from Summer Tucker about sharing your calendar for the week. And I just took a picture of mine. I'm going to tell you, my calendar is scary this week. I'm getting observed twice at work. I have meetings before my observation, meetings after my observation, all this stuff going on at work. But I'm going to have time to do my workouts, and I'm going to have time to listen to my National Wake Up Call. And I can guarantee you every single day this week, I'll do some form of personal development. So if you're someone who hasn't been doing the National Wake Up Call, if you've not been listening to it, I want to see that on your schedule this week. I want you to write down on your weekly schedule when you're going to listen to it. And then when you take your picture of your weekly schedule and share it, because I'm the only one that's done that so far today, then I should be able to see that on there. And hold yourself accountable. We all know if we didn't schedule our workouts, we wouldn't do them. So if you're not scheduling the National Wake Up Call, and it's something that you just don't do naturally, then, you know, you need to schedule it. Do you get on our team calls or watch the replay? 87% of you said yes. 13% said no. This goes back to if you're not feeling connected to the team. Well, are you coming to these things? Like, this is how we connect. We see each other every Sunday. We see each other in our team page. Are you registered for Summit? 65% said no, 35% said yes. If you are interested in Summit and it's something that you are going back and forth about whether or not you should go, ask in the team page and let us give you our testimonies. There were so many people who went for the first time last year, so many people who went for the first time the year before. I can tell you that Summit is going to be a non-negotiable for me. I'm so grateful that it's during the summertime, so I don't have to worry about taking off work, because it's such an incredible experience. Are you planning to attend the next Super Saturday? Again, this one hurts my heart. 74% are saying no, 26% are saying yes. I know if you're local to me, I haven't heard a thing about a Super Saturday. So I am actually signing up to host a Super Saturday, and I don't know if it's going to be at my house or where it's going to be right now, but we are going to do Super Saturday one way or another. If there's not going to be a local one, I will host one for our local coaches. Because I also believe that Super Saturday is really important. And I do understand that it's a Saturday, but if we're doing it ourselves, then we can do it as early or late or even Friday night or whenever we want to do it. Can you verbalize why you want to help others? 100% of you said yes. That meant so much to me, because to me, that's why you're here. You're here to help people, including yourself. And if you can tell somebody that, like if somebody asks you, why do you coach? Or, how'd you get started? Or, doesn't that take up a lot of your time? You're able to articulate to them why it's so important to you. Are you showing up daily on social media? 78% of you said yes, 22% of you said no. And the only thing I have to ask is why? Why aren't you showing up? I understand social media may not be the funnest place to be, but after you make your post, you don't have to hang out there. And if you're being proof the products work, which means you're using them or doing a program every day, then you've got something to share. I mean, start off small. Are you posting on purpose with strategy? 57% of you said no, said yes, 43% said no. So I'm going to make sure that we start talking more about that because, yes, Christy just said a really good point. Even if you're not posting on your Facebook page every day, you should be doing stories every day. Did you help 2 people last month? 52% said no, 48% said yes. Did you finish a personal development book last month? 57% said no, 43% said yes. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. I was talking to Sarah about this today. I know my weaknesses. I know my weaknesses better than anybody else in the world because I'm the one that beats myself up over them every single day. And I can tell you that if it wasn't for personal development, I would not still be here. Just 6 months ago, I was ready to throw in the towel and abandon ship because of what I felt like was happening to me. And through personal development and digging in and talking to the people I'm closest to and just being vulnerable, I was able to see that what was happening wasn't happening to me. It was happening for me. Completely changed my mindset. If you're not doing personal development, please ask for a suggestion from someone. Post in the team page asking for a suggestion. If you don't have time to read, I feel you. Then do Audible, do podcasts. I mean, there's just so much. And if you're not like someone who wants to read The Compound Effect, which by the way, if you haven't read and you want business personal development, Compound Effect is an incredible book. Then think about what you need. I was telling Sarah today, I'm a huge introvert. And today I did something. I know going into things, like going into events, especially like Summit, or going into things where I'm going to be like giving a lot, like, serving others a lot, it wears me out a lot. And not because I don't love doing it, but because I'm an introvert. It's very much outside my comfort zone. So today I did something that did that to me. And I was telling her I'm just going to be honest. I told her my heart feels like it's about to implode because I know now that that's done, now I still have to serve the team and do a team call tonight. And it's just overwhelming for me when I've done one thing and then I need to go do another right back to back. And she offered to take over and do it or just do like a power hour. And I was like, no, I know what I need to do. I'm going to go home. I'm going to plug my phone in my bedroom and I'm going to turn it on silent so I don't get notifications. And I'm going to just spend time with my family. And then at 8 o'clock, I'll go get my phone. I'll come into my office and I'll be ready to go. And I did. I had a good solid 3 hours of family before this. And I feel a lot better. I knew I needed that. Did you successfully implement a tool, tip, or strategy from a recent training? 60% said yes. 40% said no. Are you actively engaged within the team page? 74% said yes. 26% said no. Do you add value to the people in your life with your interactions? 96% of you said yes, which I think is huge. I think if you're not adding value and you're just posting that sweaty selfie or whatever, then you're not truly influencing. And so that's where I want to lead into the difference between being an influencer and being a manager. It's a huge, huge difference, and it can and will make or break the longevity of your business and the success of your business. So John Maxwell has this quote, and I want to share it with you. He says, don't listen to the claims of the person professing to be the leader. Don't examine his credentials. Don't check his title. Check his influence. The proof of leadership is found in the followers. So what you say you're doing and what you have down on paper and all this stuff, that's not leadership. That's not influencing. Yes, it's important. It's so important. But leadership is really what's happening behind the scenes. It's the stuff that nobody sees, that nobody feels. And some of you have come to me, and I have experienced this myself. Leadership can be so freaking hard. So hard, you guys. Sometimes leadership makes us do things that we don't want to do. Sometimes it hurts our feelings. Sometimes it makes us feel isolated, like we're on an island. But what makes a leader and what makes an influencer is when you do it anyway. When you do it when no one's giving you credit, when no one's looking, when no one even notices. That's what makes you an influencer. And it may not make you feel like you're influencing anyone in the moment, but in a day or a week or a month or a year, someone's going to come back to you and they're going to say, I was watching you and I saw you do this thing. And that's what made me realize I want you to be my coach, or I want to be on your team, or I want to be on, I want to be in your challenge group. That's what makes you an influencer. When it seems like nobody else is paying attention. So I want to talk about the difference between the manager and the influencer or the leader. A lot of coaches are managers. A lot of coaches are really organized. A lot of coaches make really pretty graphics. A lot of coaches have fancy calendars and all these systems in place and all these wonderful things. And I'm not saying any of those are bad. Please hear me. I am not saying they are bad. But just because you're organized and just because you're good with graphics and just because you have all your ish together, it doesn't mean that you are going to grow, because you're eventually going to hit a plateau. You can only be so organized, right? And you can only be so fancy, or like you can't really grow in those areas. I mean, if you're not organized, you can become organized, but then once you're organized, how do you move on from that? The difference is going to be, are you developing relationships and inspiring people? Are people seeing what's inside you through what you're doing? If you're just giving them a calendar to follow, are you really, really influencing them? No. So you have to ask yourself a couple questions, and you may want to write these questions down, you guys, and you may want to be able to reflect on these later. So the first question you need to ask yourself is, are you someone people can trust? Are you someone that is setting a positive example? And the way you show people you're doing that is by showing up on your social media, by showing up in your stories. It does not have to be this picture perfect. Like, I know Christy and I did that training on making like scroll stopping pictures. Yes, that's wonderful. But some of my greatest posts are me taking a selfie with half my face in it with my kids screaming bloody murder in the back, just talking about the fact that we made it out of the fall festival alive. Like, not everything has to be picture perfect, because having a picture perfect image is not what people connect with. You cannot influence people if they think you're perfect, because immediately once they think that you are perfect, they're going to kind of shut down. Whether you realize it or not, whether they realize it or not, when I see someone who has perfect makeup and perfect house and it's decorated beautifully and it's clean all the time and their kids are always wearing those really cute, like Matilda Jane or whatever it is, clothes, I'm like, that's not me. I mean, I'm lucky if if my son is wearing clean shorts and clean underwear, because some days that's a struggle. Like, that's just me. Are you professional with how you deal with things? Are you a positive person? Do you live your life with integrity? These are things that make you an influencer. The second thing is focus on building relationships. I know that we preach this, but this is what we are completely about. This is why so many people actually quit coaching in their first or second month of coaching, because they haven't allowed themselves to develop the relationships necessary in order to make this business successful. because we are not selling lipstick and we are not selling leggings and we're not selling a product. We're developing a relationship with someone who trusts us and knows that we're going to be there for them. And if you can't do that in 2 weeks, you have to give yourself time to establish that. If you are not building relationships, there's no way you can be a leader. And if you're not showing up on a consistent basis, there's no way to build the relationship, because people don't know you. If they don't know you, they don't trust you. Number 3, increase your knowledge. Do you have a good understanding of the business and the products? The reason why I asked you if you're watching the National Wake Up Call and if you're plugging into the team page and if you're watching the replay of the team calls is because that's where this comes from. If you want to influence someone, you've got to know what you're talking about. And if you don't know what you're talking about, have the integrity to say, you know what, I don't know, but I have a team of amazing women who might know, so I'm going to ask them and I'm going to get back to you. Because this is something in my classroom. I've never taught science until last year. Kids will ask me a question and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what Pangea is or what. I don't even know if I'm saying it right. So let's Google it. Like, we just do that together. And that shows them that their teacher's not a know-it-all. And then they feel comfortable asking me more questions. If you show people that you may not know the answer, but you'll find it for them, that's just as good as knowing all the answers, if not better, really. Number 4, are you intuitive? Do you know what needs to happen before it needs to happen? Do you feel something coming before it comes? Our guts are so strong as women. Our guts are like amazing. Follow them, listen to them, be intuitive. If there's something that keeps tugging on your heart, guarantee it's tugging on someone else's too. Faith actually 2 weeks ago, I had messaged her and Melissa about something, and Faith was like, you know what, Lindsay, God told me this morning to message you, and I didn't message you. And now I know why, because you're talking to me about it now, and I should have messaged you then. And then last week, I got a really sweet message from her just saying, I'm thinking of you, with a little heart. And that meant the world to me, because in those moments, that is a little heart tug telling you someone needs this from you. They need to hear this from you. And maybe it's just you saying to someone, I see you, and you are rocking it, and I am proud of you for doing what you're doing. They may not be a challenger. They may just be going for a walk one day, or maybe they're trying to have a healthier meal one day, or I don't know, maybe they're just trying to put a hot meal on the table for their family. Just by you having that intuition to acknowledge it, you're influencing them. They're going to start watching you. Number 5, share your experiences. Do you talk about your struggles and how you overcame them? Do you talk about your past successes? That's one I really struggle with, and I need to do that more. Your followers will learn from your experiences. So you need to be very transparent, and I realize this is scary because people tend to think that because I'm a coach, I need to be perfect. Please, God, no, don't have that mindset. Share your life. I mean, you don't have to share all the dirty laundry, but share some. Share your struggles. I mean, the little things. Think about the connections you make when you share the fact that you're, like Mary Blake shared the other day in her live video, that she had promised her daughter a Burger King I don't even know if it's a Happy Meal or what. She had promised her that for lunch that day. And she was cleaning a house, and she got a phone call from school because it was like 15 minutes into lunch and there was no lunch there for her daughter. I'm that mom. Like, it was so nice to hear I'm not the only mom that screws up. Like, we're all in this together, and it's not perfect. And she twisted it and turned it into such a positive thing. She was like, you know what? I got an unexpected lunch date with my daughter because I showed up late. So I got to sit there with her in the cafeteria, just the two of us, and we did lunch together. Twist it. I mean, things happen. Share them. Number 6, look at your vision. What's your vision for the future, and do you have a plan? So I'm asking you that because you should really try to go through those questions and rate yourself. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how am I doing with my intuition? How am I doing with sharing my experiences? How am I doing with my overall vision for my team? So many of us have these wonderful, huge ideas in our heads, but we're scared of them, and we're scared to share them because we're scared of what other people are going to think of them. You're not influencing anyone if you hold back. You have to stop holding back. You have to stop trying to just manage. You have to stop trying to create calendars and systems. Now, I'm not saying you don't need those things. You need them. But that should not be the focus of your power hour. The focus of your power hour, the focus of your time working the business has to be about influencing people and making the connections. That's why the first vital behavior, I know that Beachbody says it's invite, 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 but Team Grit and Grace says it's connect, 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 because we're about making connections. We're not just about inviting people. We're about connecting with people and letting them know they're not alone. We want everyone to feel like they're invited, even if we don't hand them an invitation. We want people to know that this is a safe place and there's room for them here. Not that they just fit in, but that they belong. That's how you influence people. Are there any comments or questions or anything like that? I do want to say, if you truly want to be successful in this business and you truly want to grow, like some of you have big goals on your goal sheet. You want to be 2-star diamond next year. You want to be elite next year. You want to be whatever. Number 5 was, sorry, I've got my notes on my phone. Number 5 was share your experiences. Do you talk about your struggles and how you overcame them? Do you talk about your past successes? So that's something I know for me, I talk a lot about my struggles, but I do need to talk about the fact that at one point I was super fit. At one point I was an elite coach. At one point I was, whatever I was. I need to talk about those things because I tend to beat myself up about the fact that I'm not that fit, or I'm not that elite coach, or I'm not that whatever. So make sure you're sharing those things too. But again, I just want to reiterate, you can have the best business activity tracker. You can listen to all the podcasts in the world. You can have the prettiest pictures on social media. You can have the most organized running challenge group in the world. But if that's all you have is systems and checks and balances in place, people are not relating to you. They have to see you screw up. They have to see you be real and raw with them. And it's not always about being what you think the business is supposed to look like. And then a baby just popped up on my screen and I just went to mush. Those things are important. They have their place, but they are not the end all be all of the business. Take me, for example, because holy cow, I'm a hot mess. Like totally type B over here. But it works because people know where my heart is. And this is a heart business. And if you are leading with your paper and pen, then you're not going to be as successful as if you were leading with your heart. I stopped listening when the baby came in too. Stopped. I didn't even know what I was saying at that point. All right, I'm going to check the comments real quick and just see if there are any other questions or comments. Lindsay, I see that you're saying the closest coach to you is in Jackson, and that's over 6 hours away from me. Is that a coach on our team or just a coach that you've been following? Because I'll be honest.
It's just a coach I've been following. Like, it's just a coach that also a Beachbody coach. They're not even on our team.
Okay.
Like,
So
I'm so far out from everyone. There's nothing around here.
So I would use that to my advantage. I mean, I would be sharing the fact that, like, I'm here in the middle of nowhere, living this lifestyle, and I'm doing this. I would make it very, are you talking about Super Saturday? Or are you just talking about coaching in general? I just think like one of the biggest things I've preached from the beginning of my business is make your mess your message. And I think that you have to do that. Like you just have to, like the stuff that's happening that feels like it's happening to you is actually stuff that you can turn and say, no, you know what? This isn't happening to me right now. This is happening for me because this is part of my story and now I get to share it. Like anything. I mean, literally anything. Like I've already planned when you look at my calendar in the team page, I've already planned that tomorrow I'm going to talk about how I'm an introvert and how today was hard on me, but how my team and my personal development has helped me to be able to do things like that, because it's not that I don't want to. It's just that it takes a lot of my energy and it weighs me down because of my personality. And I know that about myself because of personal development. 5 years ago, I just thought something was wrong with me, but it's just, you know, it's part of my story and it makes me relatable to someone else who has the same struggle. There are so many people who say, I could never do what you do. I'm an introvert. Oh, hey, nice to meet you. Me too. Like, I wouldn't be able to do this in a gym and just go up to random people and help them, because that would be like, oh my gosh, I'd have to sleep for 15 hours after I did that to get recouped. But being on social media and just sharing my life and having people say that it's helping them, that helps me. I'm looking through just to see if there's anything else here. I definitely like what Christy said. If you're not posting on social media every day, at least make sure you're showing up on your stories every day. Guys, I cannot say this enough. People have to see you doing it. If they don't see you doing it, they don't believe in you. They don't believe in the products. They don't believe in the community. They don't believe in any of it. And I'll go on record saying this. You don't have to, how do I want to word this so that it doesn't come out wrong? We're a big team. We're a big tribe. And we are a tribe, but you don't have to feel like you are not part of the tribe if you're not texting with every single person every single day. If you're not hearing from them on a personal basis on a daily or weekly time frame. We're all working together daily. We're all loving on each other daily and cheering for each other daily. So you can share that. Like, just because you don't get a text message from me or an individual message from me every day doesn't mean that you're not part of my tribe. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind when you're sharing things. And I'm saying that because you can share, that's a huge part of your story. Just by being on this team, it's part of your story. So if there are no other questions, I think I've gone through and answered all the ones that were on there already. If there are no other questions and no other comments, I'll stop recording this and I'll put it up in the team page. And I want to encourage you guys, if you answered no to something, if you didn't get a point for that, then I want you to make that a focus. When we go, so many people said they don't even create monthly goals. So I'm going to post in the team page a place for you to put your goals. And I want, if you answered no to one of these questions, I want at least one of your no's to be a goal for the month of November. I realize, actually, no, we're not even going to go to November. It's going to be October. I realize today is October 7th, but I don't care. We've still got a lot of days left in the month. So we're going to set some goals for this month in case people haven't already. So you're going to share them in the team page. If you said no to one of them, maybe you said no, you don't listen to the National Wake Up Call, then it needs to be a goal. You need to listen to the next 3 National Wake Up Calls in October. Make it a goal and make it something you can check off when you do it. You got to start somewhere. You've got to be an influencer. The reason why you feel swamped and why you feel like you just can't manage this is because we're not in the management business. If you wanted to be a manager, you'd go work for Dollar General, but you're not a manager. You're an influencer. You are changing lives, and you cannot change lives by managing people or managing systems. You can only change lives by influencing them. And I'm going to end on that note.